Hi there, it's me again, Catherine Colert Page. Okay, so today I'm talking about one particular way of dealing with writer's block. There are a lot of different ways, and this is one of my favorite, and that's running. So every writer gets blocked. I teach legal writing, I do a lot of legal writing, but I also write fiction, and I get blocked in my legal writing, I get blocked in my fiction writing, and that's really tough. In my last video, I talked about how hard it can be to get started writing, and how you need to write every day, just a little bit even. And what do you do when you get started and then you get blocked and it's not time to take a break or you're on a deadline? Well, one of the things that I do is I go on a run. And that may seem counterintuitive if you're on a deadline because it's time spent away from writing. But then again, if you're sitting there trying to write and nothing is making it onto the page, or nothing um, fruitful is making it onto the page, it's not really a waste of time to take a break as long as that break is a break that is still focused on your writing in some way. So there is a psychiatrist, or excuse me, a psychologist in San Francisco, California, Dr. Patrick Gannon, who has done some research, and is doing some writing on cardiovascular exercise, as a means of enhancing your performance in a variety of different areas, and writing is one of those. What he has discovered is that what happens anytime we engage in left-right motion, that triggers our brain to move back. It triggers us to move back and forth into both hemispheres of our brain, reproducing essentially what is a state of REM. If you've ever heard of a therapy called EMDR, essentially it's putting you in that same state that you would be in an EMDR therapy, where you are in a waking state of REM. It has to be this sort of somewhat rapid, rhythmic, back and forth, left right motion. So, exercise like running or cycling, anything that involves repeat left and right, puts you into that state of REM. But there's some extra bonuses, because you also get endorphins, you get a testosterone boost. I think you may even get a drop in your cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Overall, it just loosens up your body, which feels good. For me, I like to run outdoors. I like to run around the lake. And I think that once I was maybe having a conversation with a writer named Jandy Nelson, who has written just this incredibly beautiful, poetic book called The Sky is Everywhere. And she said, I don't hear the voices when I'm on the treadmill. If you're a fiction writer, you probably know about the voices. Hi, this is my cat Lee, by the way. So everyone say hi to Lee. Um, yeah, fiction writers, we hear voices. For me, I don't just hear voices. Like I've got a whole cast of characters here in my head, and when I go on a run, they come alive. I see the scene. It's like I'm moving around in a movie or a music video. Um, and I'm out in nature, getting fresh air, sunshine, vitamin D. Who doesn't need vitamin D? Um, but it's not just a break, because I'm thinking about what it is that I'm working on when I'm running. Or sometimes I may be thinking about what it is that's bothering me in my own life, that's stopping me from writing. But somewhere in there, I'll also start thinking about what I'm working on. And it's just amazing. I would say 9 times out of 10, it snaps into place after that. So with fiction, my whole way through the MFA program, when I would get stuck, I started learning that I could go on a run and I could come back, and then that character was speaking to me, or I'd figure out oh, wait a second, I need to write from this other character's point of view for a little bit as an exercise, just to, figure out what they would say. And it's not just the fiction. The same thing with my legal writing. Like, I get stuck in my scholarship, and I'm not sure what to say yet. I go on a run, and I think about that portion of it, and I get back, and amazingly, that piece of it that I was working on snaps into place. Um, these days we're getting so advanced. Who knows? Maybe eventually we'll be able to go on our runs and have our phones with us and dictate the connections we're making into our phone. Maybe we can already do that. I'm not sure. It's worth a try. But in any case, I recommend that you check it out. Do some running or some cycling. Maybe some fast walking. You can try the treadmill or the machines. Personally, that gives me a little bit too much interference. Um, but I think you'll like it if you try it. Even if you're not an exerciser, give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes is all it takes. Okay, so right on.